So come on in, take a sip. Let's wind down. Today we've got a Monday grid to hop into and a 2022 Dornfelder von Im Barrique gereift. And I saw this and I saw that the orange and the bronze and the copper, just the various colors in this. And I thought, oh, that's nice. And so if you were like a really big fan of the University of Texas, then you'd probably really like the wine, but no, it's super, super deep red on the nose in classic German cassis. Maybe some blueberries in there. Strong hints of some blackberry as well. And this one has a nice balance between soft and tannin. It's not bold, it's smooth. Again, it's a soft finisher. It's a beautiful finisher. And this is one of those wines that would be a universal when it comes to what to eat with it, what to do. You don't have to worry too much. It would pretty much go with anything. But it does have a very fruity, a lot of botanicals on the nose and the palate. And it comes across as a very fruity wine, yet it is absolutely dry. So again, we've had a spate of these recently, and it's been kind of nice to think both sweet wine lovers and dry wine lovers could probably get along just fine over a bottle like this. And I haven't had near enough of that after such a long day, but I'm sure I'll make up for it during the grid. So let's go ahead and hop into said grid and see what we got going on for our Monday. Looks like we got a Christina Iverson construction. I haven't seen her name on the big grid for a while, so that's awesome. That's edited by Will Shorts. So let's see what kind of Monday we're going to get, because you never really know. Okay, so Cowboys Rope. Okay, well, right off the bat, 5 letters could go either way, Riata or a lasso. The one that's great is when you got 6 letters and you know immediately, it's a lariat, but arcing tennis shots gonna go with lobs right off the gate. So there we go. Now we know we got a lasso, perhaps. I mean, that's the guess. Do we? I don't know. Well, I imagine we do. Farmland unit. How about an acre? Very good. And ready, set, go. Okay, so far we got a really nice and easy-going Monday. Jazz singers improvised syllables plus tax. How about scat? Take place could be to occur. Very nice. What the circle in the Japanese flag represents, and that would be the sun. And dessert cocktail with creme de cacao. Oh, wow. Creme de cacao. I think maybe a brandy Alexander. I like my cocktails. Can I take your order? Okay. Serpentine swimmers going with eels. I don't know. It's just really kind of a scary thing for me. So 83 musicals starring Barbara Streisand. Maybe this is Yentl. Funeral vessel. Yes, of course. We have our urn here. Loosened as a knot. Maybe undid. Now I have no choice but to look into this because that sounds so awkward coming out of my mouth. Undid. Created as yarn or a spider web, maybe spun. So contempt. Oh, maybe scorn. Negative conjunction. Nor, maybe. I don't know. Kind of diet inspired by hunters and gatherers. We're talking about the paleo thing. I wouldn't have minded ever getting into that one, but there was just too many sweets, too many sugar bombs in there, like pears and apples and oranges and stuff. And no, I just went with the meat and the cheese and the eggs, and that seems to be doing great. Show up to a gala in a t-shirt. Say maybe we're underdressed. Unless that's your look, like if that's what you're known for and your fame, I mean, that your fame is built on this look that's a t-shirt, then yeah, you're just fine, I imagine. Goody on classic radio. Man, I tell you what, Now I know how my parents must have felt in the 80s when they heard stuff from like the early 70s that was playing on the oldie moldy Super Goldie channel. I mean, I'd walk around in a grocery store in the United States, listening to Depeche Mode or The Cult. I'm just thinking there was a time when this would have... Really? We've got The Cult playing in here? This is crazy. Okay, so affirmative would be a yes. And oboe accessories carved by the oboist. Yes, maybe reeds. Very nice. So, classic board game with the Peppermint Forest and Lollipop Lane. Yeah, I've never played Candyland. And I had 2 cousins growing up that were girls. You think I would have, but I didn't. 10 to 12-year-old. How about a tween? That's kind of a fun little portmanteau, really, when you get right down to it. Noted painter of soup cans. I'm shooting out here for a Warhol. Food label initials. Recommended daily allowance, perhaps. Go until maybe end at or on. I don't know. Let's try at. Move from an acrobat or a break dancer. I don't know. Maybe a handstand. Nitpicker. How about a pedant? And yes, nice definition. Montana is the only U.S. state with one in Spanish. Well, way to go, Montana. Let's go with a motto. I've blushed to say I do not know what that motto is. There's a lot of states I do know the motto, but that one's I don't know. So mosque toppers, probably domes. I mean, always typically looking for like a minaret or something, but I think we might have a handstand here. And it's something that we can quickly check, probably just with the S alone, which you might fill her up with, and I'm thinking gas. So, inside out, emotion. Who says we should lock the door and scream that curse word we know? It's a good one. I guess I don't know what inside out is. Okay, I'm hoping we can figure it out. I'd be sweating bullets if this were Saturday, but being a Monday, I might be able to figure out the intersections. I just don't know, though. Dig out. Huh. Alternative to bottled might be on tap. Yeah, I'm afraid that it's what I thought it might be, to gouge. MVP might be our standout athlete. Yeah, so to gouge, I guess. Huh. That sounds awful. Takes me back to that Game of Thrones scene with when Pedro Pascal had his eyes pressed. Oh, that was awful. Stereotypical bookworms. Probably nerds. Though, I mean, I think that's been kind of that stereotype, because there's a lot of people that are really into books that are not nerds. We always laugh and say things like, oh, I'm a real whatever nerd, like I'm a language nerd, whatever, but the case may be, we're running around, in typical nerd fashion. Not typically. Defense against the dark. I guess Harry Potter class and maybe the dark arts. I don't know. I don't even know, honestly, if I've ever seen a Harry Potter. Who might help an author get a book deal could be an agent. So, is this anger? Source of extra sweetness. Yeah, I guess it could be maybe added sugar. So, anger is my inside out emotion who says we should lock the door and scream the curse word we know. It's a good one. I just don't get that. I'm going to have to look that up. I mean, I don't like not knowing stuff. Contacted using a beeper, so maybe paged. September preceding. Okay, that's a given. Maybe we get a little October action or August action going on. Common destination for a field trip, and I'm thinking a museum. So, good so far. 4 years for a president. Had that a number of times lately, too. I got Edie Falco of The Sopranos. Stead would be in Lou. NaCl is salt. And relative of a milkshake, maybe a malt. brunch or lunch. Huh. Okay. And all's well that ends well. Is it though? Let's see. Word that would be more grammatical in the title. Lay, lady, lay. Yes, well, of course. Lie, lady, lie. And Beatles song, well, we just know. Taxman. But should 5% appear too small, be thankful I don't take it all. All right. Hybrid Chevys. These are volts, right? Battery for some small toy. So battery, maybe a AAA. Parental authority. Oh yeah, the good kind, right? They have authority through fiat, because I said so. Fiat Lux. Let there be light. By God, it's gonna be light. All right. Competitor of Petro Canada. Of course, we got SO here. I gotta tell you, SO is the new international thing, and I know Canada compared to the US is international, but it's all over the place. What some people confuse with a monkey might be an ape. Smartphone predecessors in brief are PDAs. Gosh, I do wish I had hung on to my Palm Pilots. That's right, yes, I had several. And then the Cassiopeia, the little Microsoft thing that I had was nice. Boy's name, or how you might describe 1734, so on and so forth. So, I'm assuming we're talking about an Andy here, right? Because we got Candy, Lance, Handstand, Brandy, Alexander. So maybe Andy. I don't know how that's going to work. Let's see. Magician's cries could be tadas. Yes, very nice. Scottish archipelago west of Norway. And, oh, man, I'm going to need a couple more pieces of that. Poetic tributes, perhaps odes. Black and white cookie, yes, that's right. Or the official cookie of all crossword setters and cruciverbalists alike. Formal ceremony might be a rite. Social worker's assignment could be a case, and org with the Knicks and Clippers, probably going to be the NBA. And, sure. Yeah, I bet. Art with tiles in fancy styles that might produce smiles. Oh, about mosaic. Very nice. What a baby's bib might protect a onesie from. Oh, yes, of course, we keep that drool from taking place. Wise birds are always the owls. And if you can turn your head all the way around 360, that's pretty smart. Gives stars to, say, perhaps rates. So, let's see. Free items that come with drinks, perhaps straws. Thou shalt not. I'm looking over the grid real quick to see if we have any obvious places where something's been screwed up. I don't see it. So that's right. We got the Shetland Islands here. Strings with the pattern. Okay. So obviously Social Security numbers. So we've got what spectacles perch on noses and figure to be sus. And I hope we didn't fat finger something. Let's have a nice Monday. How did we do, Bob? Now, granted, it'd be a lot easier to figure out what went wrong on a Monday versus yesterday. That Sunday grid, that's a long one right there. And man, that was a tough grid too. But I appreciate everybody's comments on it, though. That was fabulous, right? You know, I mean, it was a really great grid. Love hearing from everybody. And with that, I just want to say, Christina Iverson, this is a beautiful, beautiful Monday construction. Nothing inelegant at all. It was nice and smooth. It had a nice little theme to it as well. I thought it was just a very cleverly constructed Monday. And you really nailed it. You knocked it on home. So let's go ahead and bring down our Benny or Dadu. And I want to throw up real quick this recruiting, begging of anyone to step up. Send me an email. Let me know if this is something you might want to do. If you think that you might enjoy filling in as a guest solver on either the New York Times or on the Guardian Cryptic, I would love to know, because My Shotzi's going to be in on Wednesday morning in Munich, which means she's leaving Dallas tomorrow. And at some point, she's going to be like, okay, jet lag's over. Now, let's go on vacation somewhere, right? You know, what's the point of living in Europe if we can't zip off someplace and do something about that? So I'm asking, just for your consideration, if you think that you might have it in you to step up to the plate. You don't have to be a great solver. Just step up, and do it. If you have to look up answers, then look them up, Just give us a way to bring in those from the community. Otherwise, you may leave me no choice but to ask someone like Jimmy Kimmel to do it. And since Jimmy doesn't know me from Adam, he probably wouldn't do it anyway. So, I'll ask him, but it would be nice if we could get someone in the community, a few of you, together to put together a little go-to list of folks who could do this while I'm gone for a few days at a time. That would be phenomenal. So with that, until we see you tomorrow, thank you for the likes and the subscribes. To all the new subscribers, welcome. So glad to have you here. And to the legacy subscribers, thanks for sticking around. All right. So until we see you tomorrow, ich wünsche Ihnen einen schönen Tag noch. Auf Wiedersehen. Tschüss. Servus. Grüß Gott. Ciao. Cin-Cin. Be well out there. Be nice to strangers whenever possible. And we will see you on the morrow. Cheers.